Hello, Brandon at MBI. Just want to let you know I've made progress on your carburetors. Let's see, we discussed already, or I sent you an email about the damage in transit. This thread's got boogered up here. Some other stuff that I replaced was boogered up on the throttle linkage. Anyway, since then I have installed new needle and seats in your float bowl covers and adjusted the float level. They were all off. The number 2 float bowl had flecks of black material in it, and it looks like the lining of the gas tank might be coming off. So you need to pull your fuel tank sending unit and look inside the gas tank and see if you got a bunch of black specks that are debris that's floating around, and that's the lining that the factory put in the gas tank 50 years ago. The number 1 carburetor did not have any flecks in there. It's an interesting phenomenon. Most of the fuel goes here first, then backs up and goes into the first carburetor. It's a strange phenomenon. Anyway, number 1 carburetor fuel inlet had bunged up threads on it, probably from shipping. So I've got you another fitting here. Replaced this fitting and found that somebody had used pipe dope on the threads to prevent leaking or seepage. Well, that's not the threads are not where this thing seals. It seals with this red gasket right here, and so you would need to back off on this union right here and crank down and tighten on this fitting right here to keep any seepage from taking place. But pipe dope on the threads does no good because it doesn't seal on the threads. Removed, let's see, I also, like I said, fixed your throttle linkages that were all bent. The second barrel idle jets, let me see if I can get the camera over there. Okay. All right, the second barrel idle jets, right here, you G55, they had been drilled out. I don't know what size they were, so I just chunked them because they weren't usable anymore. Which is, no need to mess with them because the idle circuit is not functioning on the second barrel. It doesn't idle there, so the idle jets are just plugging a hole. It idles on the first barrel of each carburetor, and I updated you from G55 to G65 to help with this crappy oxygenated fuel. So these jets are now identical on both carburetors, both barrels rather, and both carburetors. And so if you run into that situation where flecks of material get into the idle circuit and plug up the idle jet, and what will happen is you won't have an idle, but you can rev the engine and it revs up real nicely, but it won't idle, and that's because one of these little teeny jets has been plugged. So take it out and blow it out, or if you just take it out and swap with this jet because they're both the same now. Also found that the idle mixture screws were really far off, so I've got those adjusted properly. And let's see if there's anything else. And I'll do a cold start video tomorrow and show you how to about the adjusting process. But I can do that now, I guess, as well. Let's see what else I have. I've written down my checklist here. Oh yeah, also very important, I adjusted the second barrel throttle shaft to the first barrel throttle shaft. And this is, let's see if I can conceptually tell you how this works. All right, you've got your throttle shaft right here. It comes out right here, and it's got this bracket on it. This is connected to the first barrel, and so I'm going to move it. You can see it move. All right, now then, it has a threaded screw that goes down and impinges on a pin connected to the second barrel. So I don't know, you probably can't see that down there. Maybe you can see it. Yeah, you can just see it. You can just barely see it moving. Okay, so this is mechanical linkage to artificially close the second barrel when you floor the carburetors and you got all 4 barrels open and you chop the throttle, well, this pin helps close the second barrel, and then vacuum closes it the rest of the way. And so what you want to do is make sure that you have a small amount of room, or small amount of movement right here. That's even a little bit much right there. Let's check this one over here. See, there's a little bit of movement right there. And you've got to have that movement, because if you crank down too far on this screw right here, it hits that pin, forces the butterfly closed, and then you start to use the screw as a jacking point, and it starts to open up the first barrel. And it'll screw you up, because you try to adjust your idle right here, but nothing will adjust because it's being held in place right here. So if you go adjusting the idle, you have to make sure that you have adjusted these guys right here. This is a jam nut that keeps it from rotating and moving, and this is where you do your adjusting. So make sure that those are not interfering with each other. Let's see. This stud was missing when it came out of the box. I'm assuming you have that stud. If not, let me know and I'll get you another one. Let's see. In terms of idle mixture screws, what we're going to do is screw these in until the engine stumbles, back them out until the engine stumbles, and get your midpoint until the engine runs nice, and then you accelerate and it doesn't pop or backfire, which means it's running lean. These are dummies. They don't do anything. Leave them alone. Do not touch them. Do not touch them. Not even, I mean, I don't care if this is loose or not, because it doesn't do anything. So just leave these alone. Someone jacked down it, screwed with this one. But just leave them alone. They don't do anything. They just plug a hole, and that hole doesn't even do anything. So just leave them alone. See, someone's been screwing with these things. All right, so we got, these are already warmed up. As you can see, we got temperature here, so it's not a cold start. I'll do not even a cold start. I'll do an ambient start tomorrow, because its temperatures are running about 90 degrees here, so it's not what I call even a warm start. And then we're going to use the synchrometer for adjustment, so we get the same airflow. Now you want no airflow going through the second barrels at idle. They're closed, completely closed. You want no airflow, and you want uniform airflow going through the first barrel of each carburetor. So let's make sure you can get this on screen. Okay, I think we'll be all right. And we do the when you're adjusting the carburetors, you disconnect the linkage, disconnect the throttle linkage so they're independent of each other, and then you install the throttle linkage so that hopefully nothing moves. And that's why you've got a turnbuckle back here to get it adjusted exactly right, so that when you snap the linkage on, nothing changes. All right, so I'm going to leave it on here, and then I'm going to start, and then I'll show you how to adjust and tune them. They're already warmed up. Don't adjust these things until they're warmed up. So I've disconnected my linkage, and I've already adjusted these, obviously. So we're running about, my glasses on. And you hold your linkage here. Make sure you don't have a runaway engine, and also so that you have pressure on the throttle lever right there. Okay. Running about 7. And about 7 and change, and we check here. We got no flow. Got no flow or minimal flow. We want factory had like 2.5 to 3 on these things, and anything below 2 is gravy. All right. Next, we're going to adjust the idle mixture screw, and this is not on camera. Let's see if I can get this up here. Yeah, we can do this one right. You can see this one right here, or get close to seeing it. Yeah, all right. So screw it in until the engine stumbles, back it out till the engine stumbles, get a midpoint. It's real easy. Doesn't take much adjusting. Hear the engine starting to degrade. All right, back it out. starting to degrade again. And I'll use a dwell tachometer tomorrow to show you how precise we can get these things to idle. So right now we're just going to get the midpoint where it sounds the best. And that's a little bit of feel, a little bit of experience. And we do the same thing on both carbs. We put our linkage back in place where nothing changes. Nothing wrong with these carburetors. They are fabulous. All right, so I will do a cold start and further testing and adjusting tomorrow for you. Thanks.